Hey there guys, welcome to AFC Game by Game. This is my preview for Arsenal's match on Saturday, a trip to the Britannia Stadium, a game which normally I wouldn't be looking forward to, but given that we beat Stoke City last season so convincingly at the Britannia, I am going into this game with a revived sense of optimism, especially given that we go into this game on the back of a 4-3 victory against Leicester, which, let's be honest, wasn't the most glamorous performance from Arsenal, but we got the job done in the end with players missing from the squad. Great result given how things went on the night, being 3-2 down to come back within 5 minutes and win the game 4-3. Brilliant way to open our Premier League account. Of course, it wasn't a convincing 4-0 win that Man United had over West Ham, but we've got a chance to build on 3 points, and I'd hope that we can do that away from home against Stoke City this coming Saturday. Now, Stoke haven't been overly convincing. Well, I say that it's only one game into the season, but they weren't particularly flattering on their opening game, losing 1-0 to Everton, which in all honesty should have been a couple more. Wayne Rooney with a goal to make it 1-0 to the Blues, and I think Stoke will feel that they got off lightly in that game. They didn't have many chances, they didn't create too much, and I think that we've got a real chance to pose a threat to this Stoke City side, as I hope we would. I'm not too sure if Alexis Sanchez will be coming back into the Arsenal team for this game, but with Mesut Ozil having one game under his belt, Granit Xhaka having a game, with all these players looking to get back to their fitness levels, I think that we've got a good chance of going to Stoke City and getting a win. Now, from an Arsenal point of view, I do want to see the defence more structured. It was all over the place in the game last Friday, and I do want to see more structures to that back line. So I think Rob Holding, given that he didn't have the best of games, given that he's still so young and we don't want to harm his confidence, I'd take him out from this Arsenal team and look to bring in someone like Mustafi, and I definitely don't want to be seeing Nacho Monreal playing again in the heart of that back three. He did very well for the time he was there against Chelsea in the Community Shield, but this is the Premier League now. We can't afford to be playing guys that are under 6 foot in that position. So maybe it's an opportunity for us to bring back Mustafi into the centre or play him on the right hand side, but for me personally, bring in Mertesacker where he should have recovered from that knock on his head by now. I'm hoping that was just a precaution in that game against Leicester where we didn't play him. Bring him into the middle of the three where we know he can play so well, and then have Mustafi on the right and then Nacho Monreal on the left-hand side of him. I think that's a very good back three, a very stable back three, a lot of understanding, a lot of experience, and a lot of what I would hope is communication in that back line. So that's the back three I'll be starting with. Needs to be a more convincing game from Petr Cech. Had a very good end of the season last year. Actually, I remember him making some very good saves away from home at the Britannia last year, but for me, has to be more convincing than he was in that game against Leicester City. Didn't look particularly sharp, didn't look up to scratch, and I'd hope that all those doubts can be put to one side in this game against Stoke. Moving on from that, in the midfield, I think it's got to be Xhaka Ramsey. I think it goes without saying that we looked so much better when Ramsey came into play last Friday. Mohamed El-Nene, as much as I like him, I think he's a very basic player. I think he's a very, dare I say, average player. Don't get me wrong, I think he's a great utility player, someone that can come into this team and do a job at home to someone like Bournemouth, Huddersfield, those sort of teams. But when we're playing in these big games, and I do regard Stoke away as a big game, it's a ground that we don't particularly do well at, I'd definitely be looking to play our most dangerous players. For me, Xhaka Ramsey has to be the midfield too. And then it comes down to the wing backs. Left-hand side, I think it's got to be Kolasinac, who is, I think, so potent in that role. He's such a lethal machine in that left wing-back position. So I'd be looking to play him there, get his attacking calibre on full display. And on that right-hand side, it really comes down to Hector Bellerin or Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. It's a tough one. Chamberlain's been playing some very good football, and for me in that game against Leicester, he did everything right apart from putting the ball in the box. He got past so many players, completed the most take-ons, completed 1 in 7 crosses, which is very poor for a player that's got to be playing in a wide role. Bellerin arguably didn't have a particularly great game against Leicester, hasn't opened his Arsenal season particularly well, hasn't done a lot to impress. I know that a lot of people would rather see Oxlade-Chamberlain come into the fold on that right wing-back position, but for me, I think it's a no-brainer that I'd be going with Hector Bellerin in this game, especially given the news that Oxlade-Chamberlain has been the subject of a £35 million bid from Chelsea not too long ago. So for me, I'd be playing Bellerin on that right-hand side, and then the two in behind what I would presume is going to be Lacazette, given that Alexis Sanchez isn't going to be in the team just yet. I'd be going with Mesut Ozil, and then alongside him either Danny Welbeck or Alex Iwobi, but given that Welbeck scored, he's still going on a high, can offer so much to this team. I'd be going with Mesut Ozil and Danny Welbeck. So the same front three that played against Leicester City, it's a front three that was capable of scoring goals. Aaron Ramsey can provide goals. He's looking extremely sharp this season, so I'm excited going into this game. I think we've got a team that's more than capable of beating this Stoke City side. As I said, didn't do particularly well on the opening day, Stoke, but I think they'll be looking in front of their own fans. We know they'll be baying for blood. They don't like playing against, well, they love playing against us. What am I saying? They absolutely love playing the Arsenal at their own turf. So should be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Stoke have, they've done some interesting business this window, bringing in, I believe it was Martins Indy, They brought in Kurt Zuma as well. So all these players that I think can offer a lot to them defensively, but we've got to be breaking that line down. Kurt Zuma, I think, is a very, very good snip from them. I'm surprised that Chelsea let him go and brought in Rudiger, but Rudiger, that's a completely different story in itself. But as I say, whilst Stoke City aren't on a particular high, we've got to be taking advantage and getting a win in this game. They have also reportedly been in for Hesse, getting him on loan from Paris Saint-Germain. He'd be a very, very good signing for them, getting that connection as well with someone like Boyan. They have got a very dangerous attack, an attack that needs to be watched in this game. We all know the players that they've got up top, Boyan, Shaqiri, players that can cause problems. They've also got some very versatile options up there. So yeah, we know what we're getting when we go to play Stoke City. It's not going to be a glamorous game. It's not going to be a pretty game. But if we can do our job, as we did last season, when things, when we were already out the league title race, when all we had to play for was the FA Cup, that's when we managed to get the win. But when the pressure's on, it is, it's a pressurised point in the season. We've got to get off to a good start. I just hope that we can go to Stoke, get this game out of the way, because that's the monkey off our back. It's one of those horrible games away, like Stamford Bridge, like going to Old Trafford. These games that we don't particularly enjoy. So get this one out of the way, get the 3 points, 6 points out of 6, and hopefully we can all enjoy the weekends. And yeah, I'm hoping for an Arsenal win, and I'm confident. I'm quietly confident. I don't want to say it too loudly. I don't want to underestimate Stoke. Didn't have a particularly great game against Everton. I know I've said that a few times now, but at home it will be a different kettle of fish. They'll be looking forward to this game, and we know what they're capable of. So let's not underestimate them whatsoever. Got to be playing our first choice, our strongest starting 11, and I'm very excited to see how this game goes. Anyway, guys, please do drop your team lineups in the comments box below. Please do drop a like on the video if you have enjoyed it. Subscribe to AFC Game by Game, and as always, I'll be speaking to you very, very soon.